So in the previous class we have discussed about your SR flip-flop and your JK flip-flop, and in JK flip-flop some topic is left, that is your excitation table and all. So let's discuss that now. So this is the diagram for your JK flip-flop. You are already aware of this. So this is your characteristics table. So how JK flip-flop is being created. This is your SR flip-flop, and we have your output Q bar to this point to J and output Q to K. So this is the exact thing which we are actually getting. So after the entire exercise you are getting a characteristics table. So in characteristics table what you are actually doing, you are actually noting down the present state. So this is your present state, this is your next state, and in between what are the inputs which make this transition possible. So this is your characteristics table. So suppose your present state is 0 and J is 0, K is 0, then your next state is going to be 0. That means it is actually holding the state. Similarly, if present state is 0 and it is 0, 1, then also when K is equal to 1 your output is 0. And when your J is equal to 1, K is equal to 0, so present state is having transition from 0 to 1. And when J is 1, K is 1, then also it is changing. So these three things are being listed, which we have discussed in the previous class also, that if there is no clock, no matter whatever you are applying on JK, there will be no change at the output. And if your clock is there, so 1 denotes that clock is there, then what happens, you are getting, when J is 0, K is 0, it will hold the previous state, or we can also say this is your memory. So this state and this state are called memory, because there is no change in the contents of your flip-flop. On the other hand, when J is 0, K is 1, no matter whatever you are having at the output in the previous state, that is going to be 0. So when J is 1, K is equal to 0, your system is going to be J is 0, K is 1, your output is going to be 0, or we can say a reset. Last case is when J is equal to 1, K is equal to 0, then Qn plus 1 is going to make your output 1 set. Then J is equal to 1, K is equal to 1, and your output is going to be change. So if in the previous state it is 0, then it is going to be 1, and if previous state is 1, it is going to be 0. So this state is called toggle. Why it is called toggle? Because it is not fixed what is your output is going to be. Your output is just inverse of the previous state. If it is 0 in the previous state, it is going to be 1. If it is 1, then it is going to be the 0. So that's all as far as your JK flip-flop is being concerned. Now the next point that is important as far as any flip-flop is being concerned is your excitation table. So first, the definition of excitation table. What is excitation table? So excitation table can be defined as the minimum number of inputs which will excite or trigger the flip-flop to go from its present state to the next state. तो जैसे आपको मालूम है आपका flip-flop है, उसकी output क्या है, Q है. So Q can have two states, either can be 0 or can be 1. So suppose this is your first state 0 and this is going to be your next state, that is 1. So now when you are in this transition, you are having present state at 0 and if j is 0, k is 0. So this is being indicated by these arrows, that if j is equal to 0, k is equal to 0, then what is going to happen? It will remain in the current state. Then if j is equal to 1, k is equal to 0, then it will move towards the next stage. And here if j is equal to 1, k is equal to 0, it will remain in this state. Also, if j is equal to 0, k is equal to 0, it will remain in this state. So if you draw these now, if j is equal to 0, k is equal to 1, then it is going to change into this state. And one more state is there, that if j is equal to 0 and k is equal to 1. So all the transitions are being given here except the one, that is j is equal to 1 and k is equal to 1. Because j is equal to 1 and k is equal to 1, will definitely going to change it like this. If j is equal to 1 and k is equal to 1, then 1 becomes 0 and 0 becomes 1. So this is being listed, and on the basis of that, your excitation table is being drawn. So what is present in the excitation table? That you know that this is the present state, and you know this is the input. So on the basis of that, you can easily tell that what is going to be the next state, or how your system is going to be the excited. So if present state is 0, next state is 0, then what are the options? J is equal to 0, k is equal to 0, yes. That will be one of the options. That means your system is actually retaining the previous state. Next is if j is equal to 0 and k is equal to 1, then it is actually making your output 0. So this can be one of the possibilities. So on the basis of this, you are getting the first state for 0 to 0 is 0 don't care. 0 cross. Cross is basically don't care. It means it can be 0, it can be 1. Now 0 to 1. 0 to 1. So transition is 0 to 1. So that can only possible if j is equal to 1 and k is equal to 1. Jk is equal to 1. Other possibility is j is equal to 1, k is equal to 0. So j is 1, k can be 0 or 1. So this is don't care. Similarly, third and fourth. So when we list them, they will combine together and your excitation table is being formed. Now, the another thing which is important is clock diagram. So here you can see a clock diagram is there. So I will be using this yellow, or maybe this color, yellow color, because this is not there in this. Okay. So here you can see that your yellow color is there. So clock is there. So this is the one time period. And what kind of clock is this? This clock is level triggered. Why level triggered? Because in between, if there is change in the value of jk, your output will be changing. Yeah, the output is after certain duration. This is called delay, and we will be discussing about delay at the end of the class today. So when j is equal to 1, j is 0, k is 0, your output is 0, clock arrives. Here you can see your clock arrives. So when clock arrives, j is equal to 0, k is equal to 0, your output will be retained. Yes, the output is there. Now in between, there is change. What is the change? Your j is equal to 1 and k is equal to 0. So now you can see if j is equal to 1 and k is equal to 0, whenever j is equal to 1, your output is going to be high. Your output is high. Now this clock is there, and in between there is no change in the system, and your system is responding as it is. Now again clock starts, j is equal to 1 and k is equal to 0. So that means your system is giving you the output 1. Now here j becomes 0 and k becomes 1. So j becomes 1, 0 and k becomes 1, and clock is there. Clock means your system is enabled. So it's like a taxi. Your positive edge triggered is like bus or negative edge triggered is like that bus. That means at certain intervals you are having your bus or metro, whatever you want to be, but that at specific intervals. While this clock is actually like a taxi, that whenever you are ready, taxi is there, you board it and you go. So that's important between positive edge triggered and negative edge triggered and level triggered. So level triggered kind of clock is that whenever clock starts, in between your system is enabled, and if there is any change in the input, then your system will be reflected at the output. So same will be reflected at the output. While if this is your edge triggered, suppose अगर ये edge triggered होता, पॉजिटिव एज ट्रिगर्ड होता, तब क्या था, यहाँ पे देखा इन बिटवीन अगर कोई चेंज नहीं है तो आपकी आउटपुट बिल्कुल ऐसे आती. नाउ अगेन एट दिस योर j is 1, k is 0 and immediately your output becomes 1. Now here there will be no change. Again this clock is there. Here you can see j is 1, k is 0. So your output will be like this. Again this is positive edge triggered. So here you can see j is 1, k is 1. So output is 1. J is 1, k is 1. So previous output is 1. So j is 1, k is 1. Positive edge is there. So at the moment when j is equal to 1, k is equal to 1, your system toggles. So output becomes 0. Now at this particular moment, just before this j is 0, k is 0. So it will retain the input. So this is the output when your system is positive edge triggered. Now if the system is not positive edge triggered, then what is going to happen? So this is the output when system is not positive edge triggered. That means if there is clock and if any change is there, here you can see j is changing after some time. So that will be reflected in the output. So here clock is there, clock is on for this particular period. So here j is 0, k is equal to 1. So now you can see output is getting 0. So now clock is on, j is 1, k is 1. So it becomes 0 to 1 after a certain time. So here clock is there, j is 1, k is 1. So they are getting to 0. So it will be changing to 1. And here clock is there, j is 1 and k is 0. So your output will be like this. So this is the difference between your edge triggering and your level triggering. That means level triggering is that whenever your system is on, your output will be changing according to inputs. While edge triggering is that at the specific moments your system is changing. And I have already given you the example that this is 10 a.m., this is 11 a.m., this is 12 a.m., this is 1 p.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. So you are having frequency of metros at these times. So what will happen? If you are boarding at the stop and at 10 a.m. you will be able to board it. But if it in between you are coming, then you have to wait for the next metro. So it's like that. Edge triggering is like that. While level triggering is you are at the stop, a taxi comes and you sit into that. So that's the another kind of illustration of this. So I hope you understand the concept of positive edge triggering and negative edge triggering. If you have any doubt in this, you are free to discuss with me. The discussion is open. So this is your clock. Here you can see this clock is high, clock is low. So when clock is high, your system is on, and when clock is off, your system is off. So this can be reflected here. When clock is high for this period, initially j is 0, k is 0. So when j is 0, k is 0, your output is going to be the previous state. So that is the case. Previous state is this, so our output is like that. Now clock is high, in between your j becomes 1. J becomes 1. So when j becomes 1, your output and j becomes 1 and k is equal to 0, your output is going to be 1. So you can see output is going to be 1. Now clock is low and system is off. So in between if there is change, that will not be reflected. Now coming here, again clock is high. Clock is high and j becomes 0 and k becomes 1. So immediately that output will be reflected here. Now here you can see the clock is off, j becomes 1, k becomes 0, but that is not being reflected at the output. Now here you can see j is 0, j is 1 and k is 0. J is 1 and k is 0. So here you can see this is being reflected at the output. 0 becomes 1. Now in this period your j is 1 and k is 1. J is 1 and k is 1 in this particular period. So clock is not there, but so clock is not there means no effect, it will retain the previous state. So it is retaining the previous state. Now here your j is 1 and k is 1. J is 1 and k is 1, clock is there. So it will be actually like this. So 0 becomes 1 and your output is like this. So that's important, that your clock is on, clock is off, on, off. So that is the importance of level triggered. That means particular voltage level is there, then your system is on, and if voltage level is not there, system is off. While on the contrary, edge triggering, at this moment, what are the conditions that will be reflected? In between, here you can see if there is some change, it will not be there. इसमें क्या होगा अगर इसको आप ध्यान से देखें यहाँ पे, this is your system. Now at this particular moment j is 0, k is 0, so it will retain the output like this. Now at this moment j is 1, k is 0, so immediately output is going to be 1. Now at this moment j is 1, k is 0, so again it will retain this. At this moment j is 1 and k is 1, so it is going to be toggle like this. Again at this moment your j is 0, k is 1, j is 0 and k is 1, so that means it will be 0 like this. So I hope now you understand this.
Yes sir, clear.
Now the clock concept. So clock concept you already know कि clock क्या होती है और उसको हम क्या यूज़ करते हैं. तो complex digital circuits are generally designed for synchronous operations. So clock will provide synchronous operations, that all the machines are operating with respect to the same clock. The next is your synchronous circuits can be easily designed. So that's the reason we need clocks. What is a clock? Clock is a periodic signal with positive going transition and negative going transition. तो जैसे ये है, अगर हम बात करें तो ये क्लॉक है और इसमें पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव सिग्नल आपका जा रहा है. द क्लॉक फ्रिक्वेंसी डिटरमाइंस द ओवरऑल स्पीड ऑफ द सर्किट. क्लॉक फ्रिक्वेंसी जो है ओवरऑल स्पीड को डिटरमाइन करती है. एंड लास्ट इज ए प्रोसेसर दैट ऑपरेट्स विद 1 गीगाहर्ट्ज क्लॉक मीन्स इट इज़ 10 टाइम्स फास्टर देन 100 मेगाहर्ट्ज. तो 100 मेगाहर्ट्ज की अगर बात करें तो 100 मेगाहर्ट्ज आपका कितना होता है? 100 मेगाहर्ट्ज आपका 10⁸ होता है और गीगाहर्ट्ज आपका 10⁹ होता है. तो ये 10 टाइम्स फास्टर है प्रोसेसर का. अब जो नेक्स्ट है ये आपको मालूम है कि पॉजिटिव एज होती है और ये नेगेटिव एज होती है. तो टोटल टाइम पीरियड ये है. तो अगर पॉजिटिव एज है तो उसका टाइम पीरियड यहाँ से यहाँ तक होगा, अगर नेगेटिव एज है तो उसका टाइम पीरियड यहाँ से यहाँ तक होगा. तो अलग अलग तरीके के डिवाइसेस होते हैं, पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव. सपोज आपका ये फ्लिप फ्लॉप है, this is your JK, and if this is the symbol, that means it is positive edge triggered. On the other hand, if you are having JK and here if you are putting bubble like this, then this is your negative edge triggered. This is positive edge triggered. Recently this is the processor with 6 megahertz 8086, which is the previous, and this is your modern CPU chips in your mobiles and all, in laptops, PAM tops. So they are having a speed of 2 to 3 gigahertz. So when we talk about gigahertz, that means on which clock it is actually operating. Now coming towards another kind of flip flop, that is D flip flop. So this is a black box sort of thing for D flip flop. Here you can see it is D flip flop, and how it has been created, that you are already aware with it, that this is your SR flip flop, and when both the inputs are shorted with the help of this inverter, then the circuit you are obtaining is called D flip flop. It is also called delay flip flop. Why it is called delay flip flop? Because whatever you are applying on the input is actually your output. So there is no change corresponding to the input. Input is reflected as it is. Sometimes it is also called transparent latch. So here you can see, if clock is 0, no matter whatever you are applying on the output, if previous state is 0, the next state will be 0. If previous state is 1, next state will be 1. On the other hand, if your clock is high, if your present state is 0, next state is going to be 0, and if present state is 1, then it is also going to be 0. So that means to store 0 in this circuit, what you are going to do? You have to supply 0. 0. So 0 means 0, S is 0 and R becomes 1. So when R becomes 1, your output becomes 0 and 1. And when D is equal to 1, this becomes 0, and S equal to 1 means this becomes 1, this becomes 0. And why we have done this entire exercise? Because we know that when S is equal to R is equal to 1, this is going to give you a invalid state, and we don't want any invalid state in the circuit. So what we will do, we have shorted it with the help of inverter to give a new kind of flip flop, that is called delay D flip flop, and this is your truth table, and on the basis of that you are having an excitation table, and your excitation table is this 0 1 0 1. So I hope the D flip flop is clear to you. This is D flip flop. The working is quite similar to SR and JK flip flop. The only thing that is different is that it is having only a single input. It is having only single input, and also it is called delay flip flop. The reason for that is whatever your input is, suppose this is your input, the output will be same. If D is equal to 1, output is going to be 1. So that's good thing about D flip flop. If you want to store 0, supply 0. If you want to store 1, supply 1 as a input. So next is T flip flop. So D flip flop is single input version for your SR flip flop, while T flip flop is single input version for JK flip flop. So you are having a JK flip flop. So tie both the inputs, J is equal to K is equal to T, and this will be your T flip flop, and this is also called toggle flip flop. The reason for that is we already know that if J is equal to 1, K is equal to 1, then output will be toggled. So that is the case. That means if T is equal to 0 and your clock is there, then output will be no change. And if T is equal to 1, clock is there, output will be changing. So the transition table is 0 1, 0 1 excitation table, and corresponding to Qt plus 1, your equation is like this: T into Q bar and T bar into Q. So this is the another version of your flip flops. So based on the knowledge and the previous thing, you can easily understand T flip flop. So no need to go into the internal circuitry, because that is quite simple. That's why I have covered the course like that. That first we have discussed with about SR, then JK is improvement of this, and SR can be used to make D, while JK can further be improved to T flip flop. So, on the basis of this, the summary of excitation tables, and I have written here learn by heart. That means you should remember this table, and it is being required to get some design problems that we are going to discuss in tomorrow's class. So, if present state is 0, next state is 0, then you know this state already. If present state is 0, next state is 1. So, present state is liquid for water, then this is ice, and this is vapor. So, how you are getting vapor from liquid? 100 degree Celsius heat and it will become vapor, and vapor to liquid, cool it. Similarly, liquid to ice, freeze. Ice to liquid, heat. So, these are the states, and ice to vapor is also possible. Excessive heating is there, and this is also possible, hailstones, natural process. So, similarly, in case of digital, when you are having states, so because here we are having only talking about only one flip flop, so output is 1. So, output is 0 or 1, that is all. So, if it is 0, from 0 to 1, if it is SR flip flop and you want 0 to 0, then here you can write S is equal to 0, R is equal to don't care, it will remain in this. So, this is excitation table, and from 0 to 1, S is equal to 1, R is equal to 0, and so on. So, this is state diagram, and you should remember this concept. And another concept that is you should remember is that is excitation tables, and here you can see that this is for your SR. So, 0 1 0 5, 0 1 0 5, for JK it is 0 1 5 5, 0 1 5 5, and for D it is 0 1 0 1, and for toggle or T flip flop it is 0 1 1 0. So, whenever you do the problem, you should remember it that this is your present state, this is next state, and if I ask you to implement particularly with the D flip flop, you can easily know that this is your present state, this is your next state, and using D flip flop you can implement that. So, this is the one of the cases, and I want you people to remember this table by heart, because it is extensively being required in most of the cases.